Lots of you have been getting in touch today. Gareth Dennis is a rail analyst. He's going to answer some of your questions. We've had a huge response on this. Let me just give you a bit of a flavour. Carol tweeted us. She's delighted HS2 was due to come through her village, causing untold disruption. Viv says she's very unhappy. She says their house went down in £40,000 in value overnight. She wishes now she hadn't sold up. On a similar note, Robbo on Twitter wants to know about compensation for selling his property. Will there be any compensation for these families?
This is something that we don't know. We don't understand. The government hasn't put any detail into what's actually going to happen. That route is still protected, which means that actually it's more uncertainty. It's more more uncertainty for these families, these communities going forwards for years ahead.
It's ongoing, isn't it? Will there be, Marie emailed us, most people I know now work from home and technology means they don't need to go into work anymore. Is that right? Have our habits now changed? Is rail usage down for good?
So no, firstly, we're already at 75 to 80% of rail usage before the pandemic, so people are moving back to the trains very rapidly. But also the change in commuting patterns, actually it's just, COVID has just accelerated trends that were already quite well embedded, which is fewer 9 to 5, more flexible travel.
Heather emails, she's from Bradford, she says she's devastated. God, it is a huge blow for Bradford. Are there any crumbs of hope?
I have to say there's very little, there are very few positive things to come out of this. Anything new that's good that's been announced is actually stuff that the government's just already, they're re-announcing stuff that's already been on the table. There's nothing new. That 96 billion, none of it is for a new project. It's all stuff that's been pre-announced.
Derek's got in touch. If it's upgrading old lines, how does that help with capacity?
Well, it doesn't. This is exactly the problem. In fact, the government's proposals are going to reduce capacity on the existing railway. So local stations are actually going to have fewer seats per hour, fewer trains an hour than they have now after these proposals have been completed.
John Salt on Twitter, timescales for delivery, ? Was there anything in the 170-page report?
So government has said that these changes mean that they can deliver more quickly. It's not true. The proposals they have come up with in this IRP, the Integrated Rail Plan, are going to be delivered about the same speed as High Speed 2 was going to be originally.
Dave, there was a plan for tram systems 20 years ago. Why should anyone believe it this time?
They shouldn't. They shouldn't.
Okay. Right, very to the point. Thank you, Gareth. Thanks for joining us and answering those questions.